Thank you, DCA moderator. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Alan Felsenfeld, and I am happy to serve as the president of the board, and thank you all for joining us for this Dental Board of California meeting. Today is Friday, December 15th, 2023, and this meeting is being held via WebEx. In accordance with Government Code Section 11133, this meeting will be held by teleconference with no physical locations. For all those who wish to participate online, please log on to the WebEx website provided on the posted agenda for this meeting. Instructions to connect to the meeting are provided on that agenda. The preferred audio connection is via telephone conference and not the microphone and speakers on your computer. The phone number and access code will be provided as part of your connection to the meeting. During each call for comments from board members and speakers, we will ensure that all comments that can be accommodated are heard before proceeding with the agenda. This is an official business meeting of the Dental Board of California. The board welcomes public comments on any item on the agenda, and it is the board's intent to ask for public comments prior to the board taking action on any agenda item in open session. The DCA moderator will explain the process for providing public comments shortly. For individuals participating via WebEx, when called upon, the moderator will give the individual permission to unmute themselves, and they will have 2 minutes to make public comment. The moderator will audibly announce when 30 seconds remain to conclude the public comment. After the 2 minutes have lapsed, the individual will be placed back on mute. Only one public comment per agenda item is allowed per attendee. Depending on the number of people who would like to testify on a particular item, a total time limit may be imposed. We ask all speakers to please stay on topic and not repeat testimony already provided. If you agree with testimony already provided, please just state your name and that you are in support of any comments previously provided. I would now ask the DCA moderator to please explain how public comment will be taken during this meeting.
Thank you. This is the moderator. For those joining in via WebEx, we'll be utilizing the WebEx Q&A question and answer feature to facilitate public comment. When the board reaches a point in the agenda at which public comment is appropriate, the Q&A feature will be turned on, and members of the public can indicate they'd like to make a comment by inserting the phrase comment or I would like to make a comment into the question box. And that's typically a question mark icon in the lower right of your WebEx screen if you're on a computer, or behind the 3-dot other options if you are on a mobile device. I will call on individuals wishing to comment one at a time, give that person permission to unmute their own microphone. They'll then have 2 minutes to make their comment. At the conclusion of the 2 minutes, the microphone will be muted and we'll move on to the next member of the public who has asked to comment. Please note that the Q&A feature is being used only as a means for members of the public to represent that they would like to make a verbal comment. This is not a means to ask questions of the moderator or board members. Questions submitted using this feature will not be answered. When making your comment, please make sure that your comment is directed at the host in the drop-down window. While you're free to express criticism or negative views, for the sake of the members of the public participating on this call, please do not use profane language when making public comments to the board. I will provide a brief reminder of this approach at the start of each public comment item, and we will display a slide on the screen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, moderator. I would like to call this meeting to order and ask the board secretary to please call the roll.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Lilia Larin, board secretary. I will call the roll. Chan. Dr. Chan.
Let's not forget to unmute everybody.
Chan.
Chan, aye. Present.
Chan, present. Felsenfeld.
Felsenfeld here.
Felsenfeld, present. Forge.
Forge here.
Forge, present. Larin, present. McKenzie.
Mackenzie's here.
McKenzie, present. Medina.
Medina present.
Medina, present. Molina.
Molina present.
Molina, present. Olage.
Olagi present.
Olage, present. Pacheco.
Checo present.
Pacheco, present. Thakur.
Thakur, aye.
Thakur, present. And you?
You present.
You present. We have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. We will now move on to agenda item number 2, public comment on items not on the agenda. Again, a reminder, before we open public comment on matters not on the agenda, I would like to remind individuals making comments to not discuss pending complaints, pending licensing applications or pending disciplinary actions that may later come before the board for a decision. Such discussions are considered ex parte communications, as they could provide information to the board members that is outside of the record in violation of the Administrative Procedure Act. Such discussions could create a conflict and lead to a board decision being challenged in Superior Court. Accordingly, if an individual makes comments on a pending disciplinary matter, the individual will be interrupted. The board can, of course, receive comments regarding the board's processes in general, but it cannot receive comments on specific case circumstances where the decision is still pending. In addition, public comments should address the board as a whole and not individual members. Please be aware that public comment during this agenda item should provide information to the board members, but it is not a discussion between the board members and the public. The only action board members can take right now is to listen to comments and decide whether they want a future item on the agenda. Though this may seem at times like board members are not being responsive, following these guidelines is critical to ensure the rules of the Open Meeting Act are followed to avoid compromising the speaker's goals or the board's mission. In the interest of time, as we've done in the past, we would like to request that the public comments not repeat statements made by a prior commenter. If you are in support of a statement made by a prior individual and your comments have already been made, please just state your name or association and your support for the previous commenter. Legislative hearings regularly use this practice as it's a good way to ensure that we can hear from everyone today. Are there any public comments? DCA moderator, would you please facilitate the lines for public comment?
Certainly. We've opened up the WebEx Q&A feature to facilitate public comment. If you'd like to make a comment, you can look for the question mark icon, typically in the lower right of your computer screen or behind the 3-dot other options if you're on a mobile device. Click that question mark, type the word comment into the text box and click send. And if you would like to, you may also raise your hand by clicking on the hand icon. And our call-in users may press *3 to raise their hand. Each speaker will have 2 minutes with a 30-second warning. Are there any comments on items not on the agenda? I do not see any requests for comment. Shall I close the Q&A feature?
Yes, please do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We will now move on to agenda item number 3, and that is recessing the open session. At this time, the board will recess open session and convene in closed session. At the conclusion of closed session, the board will return to open session for the purpose of meeting adjournment. Due to technological limitations, adjournment of open session will not be broadcast. Adjournment will immediately follow closed session, and there will be no other items of business discussed. We will discuss all of our disciplinary actions in closed session, and board members, we have to stay on to go back to open session to be able to adjourn the meeting. So now I am going to ask that we go into closed session, and the people who are not eligible for the closed session will have to be muted or taken off the meeting at this time.
Exactly. This is the moderator, and we are going to begin our closed session. So let me, one moment.
Okay, we're back in open session.
Okay, we are now back in open session, having completed our closed session, and the only order of business that is left is adjournment, so this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for all the good work you did today. It was hard, a lot of work to do. All right, good day, everyone.
Have a good holiday.
Happy
everyone.
holidays.
Thank you.
Happy holidays to
Happy
all of you
holidays.
guys.
Happy
Yeah.
holidays.
Christmas.
guys.
We'll see you next year.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, and is the moderator on or not? You can thank her. If she's not on, tell her thank you on our behalf too. So,
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
all right, you guys, happy
Okay,
holidays to you all.
bye.
Good day. Bye-bye.
Bye, you too.